609 2144.
Stay here with you. You are a rainbow, so I am a lucky one. I am a lucky one. You are my favorite song. I am a lucky one. I am a lucky one. I am a lucky one. Your love is constant. You've never lost it. Your voice is calling out my name. It makes me miss you, even when I'm with you. Oh, nobody wants to go it alone, and I just wanna stay here with you. So I am a lucky one. I am a lucky one. You are my favorite song. I am a lucky one. I am a lucky one. I am a lucky one. I am a lucky one.
A speedy welcome to the show for everyone. This is the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And I'm your host today on the show. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior. And the Speed Lane is where we take everyday issues that affect our homes, our families, our lives, our communities, and our society at large. And then we relate with one another and talk about them honestly. And today we are looking at something that happens in many families, something many people experience either as parents or even as children. And our focus today is the last child. Why do parents often give special treatment to their last child, to their last born? Why does it happen? In many homes, the last born is sometimes seen as the baby of the house. And people often say the youngest child gets more protection, more attention, and sometimes even more leniency when it comes to rules and responsibilities. But this can raise many questions in families. Is it just natural parental affection? Is it because parents are older and more relaxed? Or does it sometimes create unfairness among siblings? Or do you think it even affects, those last bonds and the entire family negatively? Now, you also can call in to be part of this conversation, and it's just you and I. And the number for you to call is 0807 Speed FM. That is 0807 773 3336. Call in and be part of the conversation this morning. Why do parents often give special treatment to their last born, to the last child? If you're a last born, well, tell us what you know. Tell us if you experienced this and how did it make you feel? Did you at some point maybe feel like your parents were being unfair to your older siblings, or was it just normal to you? And also, as a parent, I know listening to something like this can immediately draw some people's attention, or even make them remember, okay, this is something maybe I do consciously or even unconsciously. Well, call in and share with us what you know. Why do parents often give special treatment to their last born. It's the last born who is excused, whenever he or she makes a mistake, it's kind of excused, like it's okay for the last born to do that, but the firstborn or the middle child is maybe getting a beating for whatever the crime or whatever the wrongdoing was, but then the last one is going scot-free. So what happens? Why does it happen that way? Is it just the regular maybe parental affection, or do you think that this is being unfair? And even on the last child, those last children themselves, do you think that this affects them negatively? Do you think it affects them positively? Is it the right thing to do? Call in and be part of the show. Number for you to call is 0807 Speed FM. That is 0807 773 3336. Why do parents often give special treatment to their last borns? Call in and be part of the show. And also, thinking about it, if you go to many families, the last borns tend to receive a special treatment. And there are several reasons that people will mention, okay, this is why this is happening, or this is why they do this. First, some parents may simply feel more protective towards the youngest child. But shouldn't it be a case of, okay, all my children should have the same kind of protection, whether it's the first, whether it's the middle, whether it's the last born, whatever rank or whatever they came, it doesn't matter the order, right? But then you find a lot of parents often focusing on that last born, excusing their mistakes, which is what has made it, if you ask me, is something that has made it even obvious to be able to tell who is a last born in society. Some people look at someone's behavior and say this one is definitely a last born, or this one is definitely someone that has done this. Hello?
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm Ugin. I'm calling from Makurdi, Benue State.
Please move away from your radio set or turn down the volume. Okay, we lost that. Remember to move away from your radio set or turn down the volume before you place a call through, and then be part of this conversation on the speed lane this morning. We are talking about the last child. Why do parents often give special treatment to their last borns? And the number for you to call is 0807 Speed FM. That is 0807 773 3336. Why do parents often give special treatment to their last borns? Why do they excuse their mistakes and maybe not give the same kind of punishment that is given to their other children, or that was given to their other children even while growing up? What happens? Is it the natural parental affection, or do you think that, okay, this is something that is unfair, or is something that affects their lives even negatively? Call in and let us hear from you. Number for you to call is 0807 773 3336. Call in to be part of the show this morning, and I'm your host. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, and I was talking about how some parents simply feel more protective towards the youngest child, and I personally think it should be something that goes for all the children. It shouldn't matter, okay, this is my youngest, he or she is the one I should pay more attention to. And by the time the last born arrives, the parents may already have experienced raising other children, and they may feel more emotionally attached or protective to those last borns, right? But is it something that they do consciously, or is it unconsciously? And another reason is that some parents are sometimes older and more relaxed, and by the time the last child is growing up, rules that were strict, for the older siblings may become more flexible with the youngest. But don't you think this is something that can affect how they grow up, even with the values that the older ones have? Will the younger ones, will those last borns also have the same values? Hello? You can still call us back again. Hello?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, my name is Obina Daniel Oje, calling from Makurdi Federal Housing.
Welcome to the show, Mr. Daniel.
Okay.
Yes, we are talking about the last child and why parents often give special treatment to their last borns.
Sometimes even the first one, then do so, then give them the better treatment when they get born. So when they do the better treatment to the last one, they want the first one to understand that you have a cost to carry so that you will take care of the rest.
Hmm.
Mm.
Okay,
That is why.
but do you think that this is in any way unfair to all the other children? Because some people give their children, the last born, special treatment even until when they grow up. They are still excusing their mistakes.
Okay, that's why I say some people, not all parents do so.
Hmm.
Not all parents do so.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for calling in to be part of the show, Daniel. We just heard from Daniel, and if you have just joined us, this is the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And I'm your host today on the show. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, and our focus this morning is the last child. Why do parents often give special treatment to their last borns, and how do you think that this affects us? No one can actually deny that they don't see this in society. People are literally able to tell that this is a last born from the way that they behave, or how emotionally strong they are, how they are able to deal with situations, how they take responsibility. People are able to tell. And some people like to point fingers. Okay, it's the way that their parents treated them. So why do you think that parents often give this special treatment, this your mistakes, we can just slide them to the side. There's no need to pay for them, and even the things that the older ones would have received a beating for, well, the last born is going scot-free for it. The last born is getting more portion, more food, is getting more. His or her bad behavior is getting excused. So let us hear from you today. Number for you to call is 0807 Speed FM. That is 0807 773 3336. Why do parents often give that special treatment to their last borns, and how do you think that this affects them? Call in and be part of the show this morning. And sometimes I feel like sometimes the older siblings actually contribute to this treatment. Hello? Okay, you can still call us back and be part of the show. Number for you to call is 0807 773 3336. Why do parents often give special treatment to their last born? Call in and be part of the show. And like I was saying, I think that older siblings, sometimes actually contribute. Hello? Older siblings sometimes actually contribute to this because they may feel they were treated maybe more strictly, and they may help take care of their last born or defend them or spoil them, which can reinforce the idea that the youngest child is more special, than the rest of the other children. And if you ask me, that is not the right kind of mindset that any child to carry should carry about their parents in their own home. Like, okay, this is the one that is special, or this is the one that is this is the one that is more loved. It can be looked at, okay, well, these days we are normalizing it, so it's becoming something that even the older siblings, like, they know, okay, this is because this is our last born, that's why he or she is being treated in this way. But if you look at how it affects some people, then we hear of things like, well, this one is unable to take responsibility now for himself. He cannot do things for herself because he or she was treated in a certain way. I was given that special treatment, was not allowed to taste the hard life. Even when there was hard life, in that family, that child was not allowed to actually go through all of that, which makes them, not being able to take that responsibility when the time comes, right? And in some homes, parents may feel that the last born deserves extra attention because they know that this is their final child, like this is the last one that they'll have. And there is also the emotional feeling that once the youngest grows up, the stage of parenting will be over. But is it worth taking the risk, seeing as it affects in different ways? Is it worth taking that risk? So if you have just joined us, this is the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And this morning, we are talking about the last child. Why do parents give special treatment to their last borns? You also can call in to be part of this conversation And the number for you to call is 0807 Speed FM. That is 0807 773 3336. Call in and let us hear from you. And even if you're a last born, how was it like growing up, and even now presently, because sometimes it happens from when you're younger and it proceeds up to when you're even an adult and you're still getting that treatment. So was it like that for you? And did you ever feel like maybe your siblings were getting left out and all the attention was placed towards you? And also even other siblings, maybe the firstborn, the middle child, any rank that it was, how did you feel like? Were you in a family where your last sibling was often given that special treatment? And is this something that affected you? Did you maybe at some point get jealous of, okay, why is that when it's me, mommy is acting up, daddy is acting up, but then if it's the last child, then they are not saying anything? Did you ever feel like that at some point, or was it all normal for you? Because if you look at families today, it's becoming something that is normal, and most people don't even know that, okay, it's possible for them to grow up and then this affects them. Or do you think that it doesn't? And if it does affect, is it in a good way? Is it in a bad way? Or is it both ways? Call in and be part of the show. Number for you to call is 0807 773 3336. That is 0807 773 3336. Why do parents give special treatment to their last bonds? Why do they do that? And do you think that it's possible that it affects them even when they grow up, maybe positively or negatively? Or do you think that is something that is just normal to do? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm calling from North Bank.
And what is your name?
My name is Hangeior.
Okay, guys, we're talking about the last child today.
Yeah, I heard about the issue. That's why I just thought to say one or two things.
Yes, let's hear you.
It depends from the parent background and where you are coming from. Yeah, because there are some parents, the way they treat their child makes them they have that. But some, though it's
Okay, we lost Gaius, but Gaius, you can still call back and be part of the show this morning. And he started by saying it depends on the parents. So, well, call back and then complete what you were saying for us. Number for you to call is 0807 Speed FM. That is 0807 773 3336. Why do parents often give special treatments to their last borns? Is it just something that should be natural, that comes natural? And then do you think that this affects those last borns or even the other siblings? And how does it affect them? If you're thinking that it affects them, is it negatively? Is it positively? Is it both? Call in and share with us. Number for you to call is 0807 773 3336. Why do parents often give special treatment to their last born? Call in and be part of the show this morning. And I was talking about how at the same time, the last born may grow up depending too much on others. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
See, guy that called the other class and the forward, and I don't know whether it's network.
Okay, go on, guys.
And like I'm saying before, it depends on the family background or where you're coming from. Like me, I particularly am last born. But since I grow up, it is almost 11 to 12 years that I'm not staying with my people. So no matter how they treat me, at least I will not feel that I don't get that free this to do whatever I like because of what I mean, they don't give me that background. So what to know, all what I know there is depend on the family that you are coming from.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for calling in, Gaius, to be part of the show this morning. Gaius says he is a last born himself. And I like that because I really want to hear from last borns too. I want to know their own perspective, how they actually see it as well. And he is saying that it depends on the family that you come from, because he is the last born, in his own family, and he didn't get that special treatment, and it's been long, he has not been staying with his parents, but that is not affecting him because he didn't get that. But can we say that for other people? We cannot say that for everybody, because most of the time, for us to even know that something like this exists, it's because it's been happening. For people to even have something like this to talk about, you hear certain comments like, leave this one, that is how she's going to behave, that is how he or she is going to behave, because he's the last born, she's the last born. And even things like, okay, maybe parents even having different issues with order of their children, different siblings, simply because, okay, the person that was touched or the person that was affected is the last born. So we see things like that happen. So while it might not be for everyone's family, it's definitely in most families. So call in and be part of the show this morning. Why do parents give special treatment to their last borns? Number for you to call is 0807 Speed FM. That is 0807 773 3336. Call in and let us hear from you. Are you a last born yourself, or are you a sibling to a last born, or even parents? Well, call in and tell us if this situation, if it's something that happened with your family, and then how did you feel from whatever perspective you're looking at it from. How did you feel? And also the parent, did you do that consciously? Was it unconsciously? Or do you even realize that, okay, something like that happened? Call in and let us hear from you. And now we'll talk about how this actually affects, even the last borns or even other siblings, everyone involved. And I'll start from other siblings. When that special treatment becomes too obvious, with the other siblings can clearly tell that this is what is going on. You find things like sibling jealousy and resentment, because older children may feel the treatment is unfair, and especially at young ages where they cannot tell that, okay, he's just getting treated like that probably because he's younger and then he needs more attention, he or she needs more attention. If that jealousy and resentment starts from there, they grow up to some points that they don't even remember what actually made them to become like this, or why they actually do not like their last sibling, and start saying, well, don't follow us to any. We used to have those things of, well, don't follow us to this, don't do this with us. You're the last born. Go and meet mommy. Shebi is you that mommy favors. It's you that they like. So yes, those little jealousies and then resentment can start from small, okay, because that last one is getting that special treatment, and before you know it, it grows into something bigger. And also like family tension, among siblings, arguments or rivalry may even increase due to someone is getting the special treatment. And well, are we not worthy of that treatment as well, or are we not children as well? So call in and be part of the show this morning. Number for you to call is 0807 Speed FM. That is 0807 773 3336. Why do parents often give a special treatment to their last born? Call in and let us hear from you. Let us know what perspective you're speaking from. Is it from the perspective of a last born yourself? Did you get that treatment, or did you at some point even feel like maybe it was getting unfair to the rest of your siblings, or did you consider it normal? And also, you as a parent, why do you think that this happened? Did you find yourself doing something like that? And how did you think? Did you at some point even think that, okay, this was unfair to my other children, or was it completely normal to you? Call in and share with us. Number for you to call is 0807 773 3336. Why do parents often give special treatment to their last borns? And we were talking about how it affects all, everyone involved, not just the last borns, even the siblings, even the parents. And we're talking about last born becoming overly dependent. They may rely too much on parents or siblings, because the parents are even when the last born has grown to a point that he or she can actually do something for themselves, they are still looking up to their older children, like, go and do this for your brother, go and do this for your sister, which is making them to become even more dependent. And also lack of responsibility, if always excused. The last one may not learn discipline early, which is what I spoke about. Okay, well, the middle child did this and then got punished for it, or maybe got beaten, but then the last one does it, and well, don't mind him, he's just a child, and he's even its own self, they even start telling him, well, sorry, do not cry. That is the person who has done wrong, and instead they are even petting he or she more. So why do we do this? And we can see how it's affecting, and also call in and tell us how you think that this affects, everyone involved. And I'll talk about how older feelings also feel unappreciated. They may feel that their own sacrifices or efforts were ignored because the focus is only on the last child, or is mostly on the last child. And sometimes it starts to look like, okay, the parents actually know that my other children exist, but then the entire attention, is on the last born, is on my last child, as if that is the only child. So call in and let us hear from you. We are talking about the last child today on the speed lane. Number for you to call is 0807 773 3336. That is 0807 773 3336. Why do parents often give special treatment to their last born? If you're a last born, tell us if you experienced that. And then did you at some point feel like it was unfair to your siblings, and how has it affected you today? Do you find yourself struggling with any of these effects that we talked about? And also, as a parent, why do you think that this happens? Is this something that just happens naturally, or do you think that is something that we can consciously avoid? Call in and let us hear from you. And also, some other things, perception of favoritism in the family, it can create the feeling that one child is actually preferred over others. And while maybe as they are younger, it might not sting that much in their heart. Some of the things that maybe siblings actually grow up and with a rivalry actually starts from small. Okay, when they are perceiving, when it's this child or when it's the last born, this is done and he or she is favored, and when it comes to us, the other siblings, then it is like this. And from small, they start avoiding that last sibling, they start avoiding that last born, and then it gets to a point that even when they grow up and cannot even remember why they were avoiding that sibling, it still goes on like that in their minds. Hello? It still goes on like that in their mind, even when they cannot even remember where it started from. And you also can call in to be part of this conversation. And the number for you to call is 0807 773 3336. That is 0807 773 3336. Call in and be part of the show this morning on the speed lane. We are talking about the last child, and I'm your host today. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, and right now we are talking about how this special treatment, given to last borns actually affects them, the last born, and actually everyone that is involved, whether the parents and other siblings as well. And something else I would like to mention is difficulty adjusting outside the home. If always protected, the last born may struggle with independence, later in life. No doubt, all the siblings are supposed to be protected until they get to a point where they actually know how to do it for themselves. But then if it's too much, or if it gets to a point where it's obviously something, concerning, that it's obvious that, okay, this sibling is favored more, even when he or she has grown up, well, he is still my last born, so we are going to treat him like this, we are going to take care of it like this. It's possible for them to find it difficult to adjust to the outside world, because not everyone is your parent who will consider you the last born. Even then, you may say, okay, you're behaving like the last born, but they are not going to excuse any kind of behavior or dependency. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Morning. My name is Jackson Sambe.
Okay, welcome to the show, sir. Where have you called us from today?
I'm calling from Makurdi, so I'm calling you from Makurdi.
All right, we are talking about the last child today.
I know, I've heard you.
Okay.
You see, why last children are treated like this is, for instance, in my family, I'm number 2. The last one, I'm older than him by 20 years. So you will see that you who is the elder one also, you are grown already. You can even have your own house and leave your father. And that one is vulnerable. He's young, he's small, fragile. So that is why even in sharing anything, parents decide to give them because they are not already matured. They are still young and so on. They cannot fend for themselves like the older ones. In tea culture, that is what happens. So that is why you see the younger one is more protected. And as you have said, it makes them now to become so reliant. They don't look for anything again because everything is made for them because of the background I've told you that they are the last. The first ones are already matured and can set up things for themselves. That is it.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for calling in to be part of the show this morning. Now, we just heard from Mr. Asen Sambe, and he is saying that this kind of treatment is given to last ones because, okay, they are the youngest amongst all, and then, well, the other ones are probably grown up and can actually take care of themselves. But if you look at some homes, then the age differences, when we talk about this last one, sometimes the age differences isn't that far, and even if it's that far, they get to a point where everyone is already grown up, right? Everyone has already grown up, but still that special treatment remains. That excuse of their behavior, doing everything for them without actually teaching them, getting them fish without teaching them how to fish, actually remains. So while it might be emotional, okay, this is the last one, we have to do this, the same treatment that was given to the firstborn or even the middle child, other siblings, and let's say the same discipline is not actually getting to that last born, is not actually getting to that last child, because okay, there was so much focus on, I have to train you to be this, you have to get better, you have to know that this is wrong when you skip school or when you escape from school, like this is actually wrong. But then if it's the last born and then you're saying, okay, because this one is younger and he or she is my final child, and then we treat that person like this, we excuse whatever behavior that they have. If you skip school or if you escape from school, no problem, don't cry, don't worry, I am not going to punish you for doing this. Then they might grow up thinking that that is right. Or if you keep saying, well, you don't have to catch the fish, what if those parents are no more? What if the siblings are not present? Does that child actually starve, of hunger because he or she wasn't able to take care of themselves in the absence of the older siblings or the parents as well? And Mr. Hassan Sambe also said that this affects them in a way that they become too reliant, like too dependent on the people who were maybe providing some of those things that they could actually have worked for themselves, and they become too reliant and they turn to decide, well, mommy is not there, daddy is not there, big sis or big bro is not here anymore to actually provide this. Then what do? Do they fall into other people's arms to actually provide those things for them? Well, the world doesn't work that way, because you can be the last child in your own home. Hello? You can be the last child in your own home, but then, well, when you go out to the world, people are only seeing a mature man, a mature woman who should be able to take care of themselves. But if maybe there was this special treatment and then that last child was not given the kind of discipline or the kind of training that they should have gotten, like the older siblings got, then it will be difficult for them to fend for themselves when they find themselves, in the outside world. So call in and be part of the show this morning. If you have just joined us, this is the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And I'm your host on the show. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior. And this morning we are talking about the last child. Why do parents give special treatment to their last child, to the last bonds? Why do parents give that special treatment? Excuse their mistakes? Well, stop them from actually doing those hard work, and do not give the exact same type of discipline that are given to the older children. Call in and be part of the show. Tell us how you think that it affects them if you're a last born or, well, wherever you fall in the sibling rank, well, call in and let us hear from you. And also, as a parent, we want to hear from your perspective as well. And the number for you to call is 0807 Speed FM. That is 0807 773 3336. And I'll take that again. It's 0807 773 3336. Why do parents often give special treatment to their last bonds, and how do you think that this affects them, maybe when they grow older, even there in the house? How does it affect everyone involved, the parents themselves, the last bonds themselves, other siblings as well? How do you think that this affects them? Call in and let us hear from you this morning. And we were talking about how we get difficult to adjust outside the home, because if you always feel protected, if you always got things done for you without actually having to try, or maybe your own mistakes were excused, you might go out there still thinking that, okay, this is going to happen like this because at home, well, mommy didn't say anything because I was the one that was doing this. I was the one who was making that mistake. Well, they were all excused and I didn't get any punishment for it. So some people can actually grow up, some last months can actually grow up and find it difficult to actually face some of those troubles outside, because whether we like it or not, the world is going to come with some troubles. The world is going to come with some challenges. So in the absence of, or with the reluctancy of parents actually not giving their last ones the same discipline that they have given to the older siblings, then it becomes difficult for them to actually grow up and take responsibility for themselves. And one may want to ask, like, is there any positive way that this special treatments can actually affect the last bonds or everyone or anyone in the family at all? Now, something that I would point out is that, okay, maybe that child feels protected as the last born. Okay, you have all older siblings or you have your parents looking after you. So you feel like, okay, you actually have somewhere to run to. You actually have a safe space to be in case you're encountering challenges or even having something to deal with. Well, you have people to run to. And also, well, apart from even feeling that safe space, well, they get to learn from older siblings. Okay, this is how you protect someone that is younger than you. This is how you protect a younger sibling. So, well, growing up and then seeing themselves older than obviously everyone is older than their children, so seeing themselves, okay, I'm older than my child, then they may learn that this is how I have to protect them as well. But then the downside of that is some of the last children or some of those last ones might not actually take it that, okay, this is for me to learn that this is how my big brother, my big sister was protecting me, and I have to do it for people that may be younger than me in the future. Some of them might grow up and think that, okay, I'm the one who is always supposed to be provided for. I'm the one who is always supposed to be protected. I'm the one who is always supposed to, well, not take any decisions. I have to go and ask mommy and see what she says. And we end up with people in marriages where some people say, well, this person is or my husband is never taking any decision for himself. He would always like to go and consult mommy, even things that are supposed to be private. And you look down to how some of these people, it's from the way that they were brought up, how close they were, or how they were more often encouraged to actually relate some of these things to their parents without handling them for themselves, and also how they were able to like relate some of these things with their siblings without actually doing anything for themselves. So call in and be part of the show this morning. Number for you to call is 090. I'll take that again. Number for you to call is 0807 Speed FM. That is 0807 773 3336. Call in and be part of the show this morning. It's 0807 773 3336. We are talking about the last child today on the speed lane. So call in and let us hear from you. And one might want to also ask, seeing how it affects different members of the family, even the last borns themselves, then can parents actually stop giving this special treatment to their last bonds? Or what kind of mindset would you say that parents should actually have to be able to, well, overcome something like this. I mean, it can be tempting to give that special treatment to your last one because that is your last child, or that is the one you're seeing as, okay, this is the most delicate, or this is the one that is still younger. And in a parent's eyes, a child is always going to be a child, especially the last born. That parent might continue to see that child as, okay, well, this one is still younger, simply because, well, the other siblings are older than he or she is. But then you're going to have to like turn a different kind of perspective, and then look towards a different kind of way to be able to train up your child to grow the right way. Because if you keep excusing their mistakes because you feel like, well, this is the last child and this is the younger one. Hello? All right. So, and it's also obvious that, well, last-borns and only child are being loved by their family, and also given that special treatment. But do you think that this is affecting our society today? Do you think that it's affecting the kind of children, people actually bring out, how they grow up and then they're unable to maybe take responsibility for themselves, or even, well, some of those things that were not taught to them, maybe because of love. And there is something else, that if you love a child, right, and you're supposed to instill the same discipline. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good morning. Hello?
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah. Obina calling from Makode, so that was it.
Welcome to the show, Bina. Please move away from your radio set or turn down the volume.
Okay.
Mm.
As I say, those things happen to some parents.
Okay.
It depends when your parents have money and they will treat you well. Like we come from a poor background, so they don't treat us. They treat us equal. And so I experienced that for one of my friends too. Like now it's affecting him.
Okay. How is it affecting him?
Because the friend have hands, legs, and everything. He can't do anything now because the parent is not around and everything. So he can't even find something on his own and doing based on the laziness.
Okay.
That's why I say it depends the kind of background you come from.
So what would you say that most parents out there to do to avoid, raising this kind of children that will become dependent and lazy, like you said? Oh, okay. We lost that. But this is the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And I'm your host. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior. And our focus today is the last child. Why do parents give special treatment to their last borns? And how do you think that this affects us, as individuals, as those who are directly involved, and also the society in general? And when we involve the society, in general, because imagine employing someone that is a last born, at your organization, and then there is a difficult task or there is a challenge, there is something we are supposed to do maybe at work, and that person is becoming reluctant, or the person cannot take responsibilities, cannot defend his or herself, simply because he is a last born. And he was always taught that, okay, the spoon has to come to your mouth, and then you don't have to stand still, or you don't have to maybe even toughen up to be able to take responsibility. And I also spoke about imagine getting married to someone who would always maybe go back and then relate to their parents, even issues that are supposed to maybe be solved in the home, right, without taking it outside, without looking for someone to depend on. Like I mentioned earlier, imagine getting married to a last born, and then he or she cannot actually take responsibility or cannot do anything, and then you're home with your husband, and instead of him doing what a husband should do, the person is crying because, well, earlier when they were growing up, mommy and daddy used to say, that is how you communicate your feelings. You just come and cry about something, and then they provide a solution or make other people do the work for you. So call in and be part of the show quickly before we go, and tell us why you think that parents actually give this special treatment to their last borns, and how you think that this is affecting us, how it's affecting even the children, the family entirely, and even the society at large. Call in and let us hear from you. this morning on the speed lane, we are talking about the last child. And the number for you to call is 0807 Speed FM. That is 0807 773 3336. It's 0807 773 3336. Call in and let us hear from you. How do you think that this issue of parents actually giving special treatment to their last born, how do you think that it affects them, those children, even us as a society? Call in and let us hear from you. And I was talking about what we can actually do about things like this. The issue is about the parents actually giving this special treatment. So the solution has to come from there. The solution has to come from the root cause. That is the only way we can actually handle it. So what kind of things that should we be promoting, or what kind of awareness should be made to these parents? Something that parents should try to treat all children fairly. Love may be the same, but discipline and privileges should be balanced. Not one child getting all the attention, or not one child getting things done for them alone, and then you're just teaching that one child, okay, you have to rely on me for anything. Don't work, I'll help you wash your hands, I'll take the food to your mouth. What about when they grow up and they are on their own? Do you also maybe come and live with them and then try to help them handle these things? And one thing that the parents also get to face is, okay, when their child starts behaving like this or is unable to handle responsibilities, it also comes back to them, and they start thinking about it, start asking questions like, why are you like this? Why are you unable to take this responsibility for yourself? Or what is actually happening? But it goes back to that treatment that you were giving him or her as a child. And also, parents should maybe set similar rules for all children. Not one child escapes the punishment and then the other children are punished for some kind of mischief or a wrongdoing that they did, and then the last one is like, you are still small, so you would not be punished. And even when that child grows up into someone that should actually be responsible, you're still excusing their mistakes, because some parents actually do that up to the level where their children are older and the last born is still given that special treatment. And also, parents should maybe teach responsibility to the last born as well. It's not just the responsibility of the older siblings to look after them for life. They are going to have to grow up and take responsibility at some point. So if you don't teach them well, they're going to have to learn the hard way in society. And also avoid comparing siblings or openly showing preference, because it can affect how the other siblings actually look at them. Actually maybe start growing with some kind of hate or resentment towards their own sibling. And also encouraging open communication, in the family, so children can express how they feel without resentment building up, and also giving each child attention based on needs, not their birth order. Right? And well, at this point, we have come to the end of the show. We have been talking about the last child and why parents give special attention or special treatment to their last child. And we have heard from different people. We have heard all we have been talking about. And I hope that parents these days actually take that into consideration. And I've been with you on the speed lane. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior. Also coming up next at 10 a.m. is King James 90s Top 10. Right here on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And until then, keep enjoying music of your life.
This is
Asking Radio 98.5 FM.